So the questioner asks Maharaj, pain is not acceptable. And Maharaj says, why not? Did you ever try it? Do try, and you will find in pain a joy which pleasure cannot yield. For the simple reason that acceptance of pain takes you much deeper than pleasure does. The personal self, by its very nature, is constantly pursuing pleasure and avoiding pain. The ending of this pattern is the ending of the self. The ending of the self with its desires and fears enables for you to return to your real nature, the source of all happiness and peace. The perennial desire for pleasure is the reflection of the timeless harmony within. It is an observable fact that one becomes self-conscious only when caught in the conflict between pleasure and pain, which demands choice and decision. It is this clash between desire and fear that causes the anger, which is the great destroyer of all sanity in life. When pain is accepted for what it is, a lesson and a warning, and deeply looked into and heeded, the separation between pain and pleasure breaks down and both become experience. Painful when resisted, joyful when accepted. So let's go through it bit by bit. When you go into your pain, there is a joy that pleasure can never give you. Pleasure is limited in what it offers you. The extent to which you find pleasure, if it happened with one chocolate, it will happen with 10 chocolates the next time and only 100 chocolates following that. This is the reason why people are even addicted, because the nature of pleasure is such that it is limited. We can only get this much and only this much. But pain is very different. Pain is something, when you look at pain, when you accept pain, it takes you so much deeper because it dissolves the self that is saying you must not be in pain. It dissolves the self that says that you must always have the things you desire. And this pain that you fear, this has to go away. This has to go away. You don't deserve this. As soon as you say yes to the situation, whatever is happening, there is something in you that surrenders, that just gives in, that the no inside. What is surrender? What is surrender? It's that no inside becomes a yes. Whatever you're resisting so far, that breaks down. That is surrender. And when that happens, you, Laura, you, Juan Carlos, cease to exist as a person, as a physical person, as a limited person, just in this place and this time. And it just, for that second, for that minute, for that finite moment, you as a limited being dissolves. That limited self dissolves. The ending of the self with its desires and fears enables you to return to your real nature. What is it that we are doing? What is the self doing? Constantly throwing up desires. Constantly. Anything you see you want. You want those clothes, you want that car, you want that house, you want that vacation, you want that guru, you want that experience. Right? We want so many things all the time, and we are frightened that we won't get it. That when we get it, it won't be as good as it's supposed to be. That it might cause us pain. That in the past it gave us so much of trauma. This is what is holding us back, right? It holds us back because we are locked in this continuous battle between our desires and our fears. And Maharaj says, the personal desire for pleasure is the reflection of the timeless harmony within. What we seek in our outer world as pleasure, what we try to get through our senses, is because of a remote memory of our actual source. Happiness is your birthright, right? That harmony that we seek, that symphony that's always there when the body is at peace, when the body is at rest, when the mind is all together, when you sit comfortably with your back straight, when that feeling of sinking into meditation, that harmony, that stillness, that is what we are seeking. But because we do it through our senses, we falsely try to, we contact our world with that sense of pleasure. And that is the mistake. So when you do away with this, with the self, when that self dissolves in pain, when you've got that painful situation and you've dissolved in it, this battle has stopped, this constant battle. Because every time, what is happening, there is this decision that you have to make. Do I do this or do I do this? Do I go with this or do I say no? No will give me will cause that person a lot of pain. Yes will cause me a lot of pain. What is the right thing to do here? Right? Whenever there are desires, whenever there are choices, whenever there are difficult situations in life, we are always taking decisions. We're saying yes and no, and yes and no. And this is the battle that we are facing. Whether are we facing our fears? Are we running away from our fears? Are we giving in to our desires? Are we letting desires take a hold of us? Are we saying no to our desires and causing personal suffering as a result of it? Right? This is what we are doing all the time. And that results in, Maharaj says, it results in anger, which destroys your sanity. Just that frustration that you can't get it all. That it's not happening on your timeline, that it's not happening according to your wishes, and it's not happening the way you want it. This is the actual frustration, this is the anger, this is the suffering, this is the misery. Isn't it? Isn't it? When pain is accepted for what it is, a lesson and warning, and deeply looked into and heeded, the separation between pain and pleasure breaks down. If you think of every thing that happens in your life, not as in something that this gives me pleasure, this gives me pain, this I want and this I don't want. If you're not caught in that constant battle between deciding what is good for you, what is not good for you, what is good for the world, what's not good for the world, shall I do this as a mother, shall I do this for myself, all these choices. When pleasure and pain are just seen as simple incidents, by saying yes, the line between pleasure and pain, you see, pleasure is on this side, pain is on the other, and it's literally a continuum. There's no little box that's saying, oh, only this gives you pleasure and this gives you pain. The same incidents can give you pleasure and the same incidents can give you pain. Sometimes when somebody dies, it is a good thing. They may have been suffering for a long time and they get freedom from this. And when a person gets married, it might be a terrible thing because now they have all the problems that life comes with it, right? But we think of marriage as a good thing and a death as a bad thing, right? Nothing is good or bad. These are just incidents in life. And as soon as you accept your pain and you stop saying no and you embrace it, you embrace whatever comes, there is this dissolving between pain and pleasure, and then everything is just an experience. An experience. Nothing else. Nothing else. When pain is accepted for what it is, a lesson and a warning, and deeply looked into and heeded, the separation between pain and pleasure breaks down and both become experience. Painful when resisted, joyful when accepted. The wisdom of Maharaj blows me away. Every time I read, more and more clarity comes. I try to read it every day. I cannot ever focus on it completely because each paragraph is so beautiful, is so deep, and is so relevant. It's relevant to our lives. And the thing is, your journey has to have progressed to a certain point for you to appreciate this. So I hope you enjoyed that. I want to do a reading like this once a month, just because I feel it gets us deeper and our journey has to move forward. So I hope you'll be with me, and we're open now for any questions.